Hello everyone, how you doing? My name is Pete, also known as Snalydo, here to give you guys another Iron Lords podcast first look. Now, the game we were looking at today is Streets of Rogue. Now, Streets of Rogue is a 8-bit kind of adventure type game, very similar to Enter the Gungeon or games similar to that, where you are a character and then you go through level by level to complete those levels and get more money to improve your characters. Now, from the things that I saw from this game, it was very unique because you started the game out as a character that had nothing, and you ended up completing the tutorial missions so you can kind of understand how you end up going through the system. So you can end up learning how to shoot a weapon, or in this case throw a rock, or you can end up learning how to open up doors, hack computers. You have all these different options in the game where it allows you to give more versatility on what you're doing. Now, as for the gameplay, it was fun. It was good. Now, for myself, I kind of started getting a little bored over time with it, but that's because these types of games, for me, aren't hugely enjoyable. But what I found with this particular game is that it had a lot of different features. Now, the reason why you can come back and play this game over and over and over again and have this huge replayability of the game is the levels are all, from what I saw, different. They're all randomly generated. They all look different. They all work differently. You can have multiple cops on that screen or not. Now, with the game itself, when you're about to go into the world, if you will, or go on a mission, you end up having the option of picking your character. You can pick a regular guy, you can pick a soldier, a doctor, and each one ends up giving different type of starting weapons, which allows you to kind of go through the level differently. Now, you even have a hacker that allows you to hack the computers. Now, from what this game feels like to me, it feels like one of those games that's just a fun time sink type game. Now, the game itself, you ended up starting with I started as one of the plain regular characters, and you start with nothing. And I actually found it really hard to play as that character. And I would end up going through trash cans to end up getting different types of money or items or weapons or food for your health and things like that. And once I started understanding that you can do that to kind of start getting some items, then it started actually working out pretty well. So after you go through learning kind of the basics, you end up starting to go on the missions, which you end up going and doing different things on. Now, the mission that I ended up going on, one of them was to assassinate a guy, blow up a generator, and try to haggle with some dude. And it took me a little bit of time to figure out how to do that effectively, because they had security cameras, turrets, and they had the police walking around. So you ended up having to kind of look at the game, take a second, and go, okay, well, what can I do to cause something to happen? So I actually learned if I take the baseball bat that I found from the garbage can, smash a window, and then one of the guys would run out, I would end up being able to fight one of the guys and not three of them. So you end up starting to learn those types of strategies. But some of them had guns, which they were able to rapid shoot you and push you away from them. So if you're running at them with a baseball bat, you really didn't have much other than throwing a rock. Now, after time, I kind of started realizing how to play the game, and after I learned that I could draw people away, kill them one by one, going back, it ended up working out pretty well, and I thought it was pretty good. So after playing it for about 15-20 minutes, I kind of got the groove, and I kind of started playing, and the game felt very very level, very meh, Like, what is it? What's the new thing they're going to give me? What's the new difficulty level they're going to give me? And then I ended up starting to look around more in your base of operations, and you realize that they had mutators, which allow you to modify the way that each thing plays as. And then you also had the option of what is it called? The co-op. That's what I was going to say. The game has a co-op option, which I don't know anybody else with the game, so I couldn't really do. But you had a 2-player co-op, 3-player, 4-player, and an online option, which would connect somebody to your Steam account. Now, that is a really interesting way to make the game more relaxed, because you can essentially like mess with your friends while playing. Because like I learned that if you hit a generator and you stand by it, it blows up. It pretty much almost one-shots you. It takes out like 90% of your health. And it's going to make the game a little bit more fun to play with your friends and have some fun with it. So it was pretty good. Now the graphics of the game is essentially an 8-bit game, like the pixelated game. And a lot of these games that I've been reviewing lately have all been 8-bit pixelation type games, and it's very interesting to see that this is just another one and how it kind of intertwines it, because I think that they can improve the look of it, but at the same time it had these little twists and turns on it that made it pretty okay to play, pretty fun to play, I guess you could say. But after, like I said, after I went through the first couple of boards, I was just like, okay, what's the next one? And like I said before, you have those other characters to kind of make them a little different. So I would like to thank TinyBuild for giving us this review code. I would greatly appreciate more from TinyBuild, because they produce some amazing stuff, and I really enjoy playing their games, and I love seeing where they're coming at from. So I would like to say thank you everyone for checking us out. And Iron Lord Podcast is on Sundays. Check out Twitter. Thank you again. This is Snalydo once again, and thank you everybody, and have a great night. Bye everybody.